I know we all have our eyes firmly on the Champions League final that we booked against Tottenham yesterday. But we win both games on this episode. We win the Premier League for the second year in a row. That'd be nice too. Hello and welcome to Club 6, part 40 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our final two games of the Premier League season. We're at home against title rivals who are 2 points ahead of us, Manchester United, and then we finish things off with a home game against relegation-threatened Swansea. And then we're going to pretend that that isn't happening. We're going to just ignore the fact that the Champions League final is on the horizon. I think I mentioned yesterday, we're going to put that out as a Saturday special tomorrow, I think. So expect a Non-League to Legend episode to drop tomorrow. I know that's unusual, but I can't wait until Monday. I just want to get it played and I want to be able to talk about it on Sunday night stream. So because of that, we need to... It all makes sense in my head. We'll just do that on the Saturday and just do the one back in the Borough episode this weekend. All will be fine. So, Manchester United. Let's just recap the current league situation. It's been a two-horse race all season long. We're 18 points clear of Tottenham. We're definitely finishing in the top two. We're the only two teams with 2 games left to play because this game was moved. This game was supposed to take place earlier in the season, but it got moved because of our Champions League run. I don't know why Spurs haven't also got a game to play against somebody, considering they've had the same Champions League run. But if we beat Manchester United right now, we go into the final day of the season, top of the league. On that final day of the season, we play against Swansea. Manchester United are away against Liverpool. So even if... Actually, no, if we lose to them, they win the league regardless. I was going to say Liverpool could win us the league. But basically, we need to win both games and then Liverpool can pretend they had some input in it. But really, we'd have done it by ourselves because we're heroes. Of course, we still have ample opportunity to mess things up. You know how we roll. So this is the team we're putting out there for the United game. We've got Vice in goal, a back four of Martelot, Felipe, Alex and Lofredo, with Davidson, Leshy and Henrique in midfield, Schaefer in behind, Pingu and Pinero. Remember, we still have something of an injury crisis going on. If we just look at everyone we've got injured, Jake Herford is injured, Jamie is injured, Kasper Dolberg is injured, and Vitali is suspended because he got sent off in our last game. So that's why the defence looks very, very makeshift, to the point where the only defender we've got on the bench is 18-year-old Stuart Pirrie, who came through our youth team. Oh, no, he didn't. We bought him from Burnley. Well, there you go. So, shows what I know. But he could be making his Premier League debut against Manchester United if we get any kind of injury to any of these defenders, because they are the only 4 fit first-team defenders we have at the club, which is a bit of a silly situation to have got ourselves into. So, let's get into the game. Let's try not to panic too much. Things aren't out of our hands. The game needs to learn maths. If we win both of our games, we win the league. That's the definition of things being in our hands. Yeah, just get on with the game. Come on now. Come on, gentlemen. Let's have an early goal. 3-0 up on the 5-minute mark, and I'm going to start to just calm down a little bit. I don't know why I'm so on edge. I've been on edge all week with these stupid videos because I really, really want to win the Champions League this year. And we've got through to the final, and now I'm still on edge about the stupid Premier League. It doesn't even matter if we win this or not. Good work, Marcus. It really doesn't make any difference to my long-term goals whether we win this game, win this league. We won the Premier League already. We've already proven we can do that. We don't need to do it again. But it's hard to... I mean, I want to do it. I've decided I want to win this as well. And Schaefer's in, and it's 1-0 on the 13-minute mark. And as it stands right now, we're top of the league. I know we've still got to see out this game and then still got to get things done on the last day of the season. This doesn't count as backdoor Kev if we do it this way. We've been part of this runaway group with Man United all season. It's been a two-horse race. If Tottenham had closed us down, they'd be backdoor Keving it. But with us, this is basically just a playoff final to see who wins. And then we'll probably lose to Swansea and they'll beat Liverpool to win the league still. We still have to hold on for now, remember. If we draw this game, I guess that is the way Liverpool can help win us the league. Because if we draw today and then Liverpool beat United and we beat Swansea, we still win the league that way. So we don't have to win today to win the league. We just make it a lot easier for ourselves and keep it in our hands if we beat Man United. So a second goal now would be super. Gentlemen, if you could handle that for me. Felipe is not really the man we want in this position. He's the king of the long ball. And obviously gets tackled because he wasn't in a position to just lump it forward the way he loves to. Good work, Marcus. Marcus Rashford in 12 years' time, not so hot. He's going to score a hat-trick now, isn't he? Pinero, he's got room out wide with Lafredo, but Lafredo's a young centre-back who's never played at right-back before, so I'm glad Henrique went out there to assist him and get the cross in. It's going to be a bit of an issue for us today, the fact that we don't have a useful crossing method from the right-hand side, because I just don't think Lafredo's got it in him. But Henrique seems to recognise that and he's getting out there to offer support. Felipe heads clear. And now Henrique's playing as the holding midfield as well. We've got 3 Morello Henriques on the team because he's a hero. Martel up with the cross. Pinero's there. And it's straight into the hands of their keeper, who is probably going to play out of his skin for the rest of the game now after that terrible mistake he made for their goal. Pingu with the free kick straight into the wall, and it falls to Leshy. And Leshy's just going to run around a bit because that's what Leshy does. Please give it to one of our players, though. Leshy. Back to Alex. I mean, it's not... Of all the players he could have given it to, £100 million worth of play, you'd expect him to play the ball forward. But Pingu is in, and again, it's into the hands of their keeper, who holds on to it fairly comfortably. Considering the manner of the goal that we scored, I'm pretty sure it doesn't count as a clear-cut chance. It might have done, I guess. But it was just kind of served up on a plate for Schaefer, and he kind of won it himself. It wasn't really what you'd class as a clear-cut chance. We've not been very prolific with the chances we have had. 4 clear-cut chances to their 1, and now they've got their equaliser, which again doesn't mean they'll win the league for sure, but it does mean we need a favour from Liverpool, and Liverpool, I imagine, will be pretty keen to do us that favour. If we've got Liverpool fans watching, I imagine you'd be quite happy to take the league off of Man United, even if it means handing it to Arsenal. But still, we want to keep it in our hands. We need a goal. We need a winner. And United look like they're tiring, so this might be our opportunity to use our superior fitness levels to go and grab said goal. Schaefer running at him again, but the ball's just taken off him. And now Rashford to get his revenge, and that's exactly what he does, because I mocked him so furiously for his nonsense earlier on in the game. And now, if it ends like this, Man United win the league. And it'll be a big, fat anticlimax. I'm going to say they're backdooring it because we were at top of the league a few minutes ago. And now they've come and stolen it from us. At least it can't be called a bottle job, because we were never top of the league all season. So it would have been absolutely... So I'm changing my tune massively. I know I am. If we manage to turn this around and win the league, of course it's backdoor Kev, because at no point this year have we been top of the league. It's been Man United all the way. We've just sort of hung on to their coattails. And if we end up losing it at the last moment, but then go and win the Champions League, that's absolutely a deal I'm willing to make. Pingu, back to Schaefer. Schaefer just cannons it into the wall, but Pinero does get there first, but he's then tackled. We need to show that we want it. Have we got Whiteley on the bench? We might need to get Jerome Whiteley on. Vice has just made an even worse blunder than their keeper made in the first half, and Marcus Rashford has doubled his punishment for the mocking. And what on earth was Vice thinking? He just had to put his boot through this. That is just horrific what's just happened there. Kick it there. Why have you let it go past you? The biggest game of the domestic season, and we've had 2 absolute goalkeeping howlers. And how on earth do we come back from this situation now? Lafredo nods it back to Vice. We've got 35 minutes to at least try and keep it competitive on the final day of the season. If we can come out this with a 3-3 now, dust ourselves off and ask Liverpool for a favour, I'm absolutely taking that at this point. Pinero, can he tuck it away? He doesn't, their keeper. Like I said, he's now playing out of his skin. Look at those stats. We're being mugged. We're going to lose the league title with a mugging. Is there a more dirty, horrible, hideous way to lose a Premier League title than being mugged by the eventual winners in the title decider match? The answer to that is no, there isn't a worse way to lose the league. This is horrible. This is just horrible. Right, we've not got Whiteley on the bench. Pinero's not turned up at all today. Get Salcedo on. Former Man United player. Always plays quite well against them. Swap those 2 over. Get Pingu further forward. Henrique can come off. We need Tommy Merson on. So get Merson on in behind the front 2. We all know Tommy Merson wants this more than anybody. And we'll go attack him. Oh, what's that? Cheers from the comment section because Kev made a tactical change. I hear you. There's no one else who's going to change that game on our bench, though. We're down to the bare bones because of this injury crisis. We really need Dolberg. But Pingu, yet another clear-cut chance. 6 clear-cut chances now, and we've only scored 1 goal. If only we could get the Pingu that played against Real Madrid to turn up for the last 20 minutes, because we all know what he's capable of. But I don't think we're going to do this, are we? I think we are literally handing the Premier League title to Manchester United. Presumably because we've made a deal with the universe and we're going to go and win the Champions League, I hope. There you go. We'll go with Willis and Salcedo. Willis can have his 10 minutes as a poacher to show me why I should have been playing him as a poacher all along. Pingu hasn't turned up. Pinheiro didn't turn up. These lads just didn't want it enough. It's now down to Ben Willis and Tommy Merson with an assist from Salcedo. And if these lads do it, they're all playing in the Champions League final. That's possibly not the truth. But still, we all know that this is what we wanted, the Champions League. We don't mind being able to rest players against Swansea. Schaefer. No, it's just not our day. It all started so strongly and is now crumbling so sadly. I hate crumble. Psh. We haven't even got superior fitness anymore. Somehow, we've tired faster than them as the game has gone on. Oh, that's not what you want to see, is it? Let's go and play the reserves against Swansea. Well, this is what happens if you just go to quick pick and go pick rotated squad and do full rotation. I don't know why Davidson is a fully rotated team, or Vitali really. I guess it's because there's no other options who could go in. But there you go. We're rotating fully for the final day of the season because it's a completely meaningless game and we don't want to risk any injuries going into the Tottenham game, which is still 2 weeks away, so we can afford light knocks, but we don't want proper injuries. So we've got Crevedo in goal, and back four, Felipe, Piri, Lofredo and Vitali. Davidson, Zanforlim and Lawford in midfield with Merson in behind Salcedo and Willis. Let's get into the game. See if this lot are any good. If they win like 8-0, then we'll know that this is the team that should have been playing all season long. It's going to be... Was it in Gunning for Glory or was it earlier? It must have been in Gunning for Glory, where we had a similar scenario where Theo Walcott got to play on the last day of the season and ended up scoring a hat-trick, and then I ended up playing him in the FA Cup final and we lost or something. It was a long time ago, but either way, I'm not going to make that mistake. I already know who my team for the Champions League final is going to be, as long as they all stay fit. Even if Ben Willis scores 8 goals in this game, he ain't playing. He's not starting against Tottenham in a couple of weeks' time, because that would just be silly. This is a team that's been put together to not risk injuries to key players. This is not a team that is out there to win a spot in the Champions League final. Although obviously, I've not told them that. Zanforlim thinks he's going to get to start against Tottenham. This is the first start in his Arsenal career, but he might get to start in the Champions League final as well if he plays well today against Swansea, because that's going to be the real indicator of whether or not he should be a Champions League winner. I'm a monster. I'm completely gambling on the fact that if we win the Champions League, I'm off. In fact, I'm off either way. I've already said, if we win the Champions League, then that's the end of the series. Tommy Merson. If we win the Champions League, that's the end of the series-ish. We'll talk about plans for that as and when we get to it. It just feels very early to end the series, but we might do it. If we don't win the Champions League, then I'm going to leave Arsenal anyway and try and move to a club where I do have the opportunity to win the Champions League. So looking at the clubs who've been getting into sort of the last 8 of the Champions League over the last few years, we're looking at someone like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Leipzig, Inter. They seem to be the big teams in Europe, the ones that always run deep. I certainly don't want another English club. So either way, I'm done with this lot after the next game. And it's the Arsenal youth team who've decided to go out there and grab goals. Tommy Merson and now Ben Willis. Perhaps they should start in the... They're not going to start in the Champions League final. Don't be an idiot, man. There's, of course, always the third scenario where I try to leave and absolutely no one even offers me an interview, which is what we went through 2 years ago. I'd like to think after a Premier League title, an almost second Premier League title, a Champions League final, we've had a Europa League final. Did we have 2 Europa League finals in a row? Or was that a different final? We've basically had lots of deep runs in Europe. We've had a couple of seasons now of solid performances in the Premier League. Surely, at this point, any club in the world would at least interview me. But we don't really know. I need to be thinking in terms of getting Davidson, Vitali and Felipe off. They're the only three that are in my starting 11 for the Champions League final. So give them 10 minutes and all three of them are coming off. I don't know if I've got anyone to come on for them. We'll just have to play some players out of position if need be. But I just want to get everybody off who could be at any risk at all of missing that Champions League game. I don't want to see your stupid replay. This is a meaningless game. This is basically an under-23s friendly. Right, let's make those changes. So Vitali is... See, I don't want to bring Martelot on, or Alex. We're going to have to just play with two defenders. So Wilkinson's going to come on at right back, and Richard Little at left back. Should we swap them over? They're better swapped over. And then we're going to bring on Jerome Whiteley for Davidson. Drop Schaefer, not Schaefer, that's Salcedo. Drop Merson back. Do that. And now we've got nobody on the pitch who is in my starting 11 for the Champions League final. So, in theory, we should not get any injuries. And we might have a hero emerge. Hopefully Whiteley will grab another goal. Merson crosses towards Willis, but Willis can't quite get there. Willis crosses back to Salcedo, and Salcedo scores. See, our reserve team is better than Swansea. Who'd have thought? They're still safe, though, looking at the league table, which you might not be able to see behind my head. When it comes back up, I'll get out of the way for a minute so that you can have a little look. I'll just drop to the floor. But at the moment, Swansea are still outside of the relegation zone, presumably on goal difference. So we need to go a little bit easy so that we're not absolute monsters who relegate them. In fact, we can do it here. I don't need to duck down. So Sunderland are going to go down on goal difference, but there's only a 3-goal difference. If we were to grab another 3 goals, then... Or if Sunderland scored, they'd stay up anyway. But Swansea could still get relegated. I imagine if I was Sunderland and I got relegated in this scenario. No, I'm confused. Basically, I don't think we should be playing youth team strikers at fullback in this scenario where goal difference is going to be so important to who gets relegated. But we've got an important game to worry about, so I don't care. Salcedo plays Whiteley in. Whiteley squares it to Willis, who knocks it down to Salcedo, and it's 4. To be fair, Sunderland should probably be moaning that we're playing the reserves, and they only won 4-1. The first team might have won 8-1. So there's where your complaint should be. The fact that we've got such a weak team. Literally nobody from our first choice 11 is on the pitch, and Sunderland are sat there going, come on, Arsenal, we need a couple more goals. We need you to win. We need you to score goals to save us. I would say in the court hearing where we were getting sued for relegating Sunderland, perhaps you should have just beaten Brighton, you bunch of losers. And that would probably go down really well. It's one of the other reasons I'm planning on leaving the country and heading abroad. Or retiring and I'll go and buy a castle in France. That's never gone badly for me in a non-league to legend save. Right, Salcedo, he's on a hat-trick, but apparently just lost the ball from whatever happened with that clearance, and we didn't even get a highlight. It looks like... Oh no, we have got one more highlight. Salcedo crosses in. Whiteley's not really been in it at all, has he, since he's been on? That's a little bit of a shame. When it comes to picking my bench for the Champions League final, I think Salcedo and Willis get the nod over Whiteley because they've both been excellent in this game, whereas Whiteley's had half an hour and we've only noticed him once. So that's picked my bench strikers. So there was a reason to play that game. We know who's going to be on our bench for the next game. Presumably we're now going to get like 3 training injuries because the game will punish me for trying to cheat the system. But we're going to leave it there for today. So we will be back tomorrow. It will be in the 7 o'clock slot that Back in the Borough usually occupies on a Saturday. So 7 o'clock tomorrow will be our Champions League final, non-league to legend special. Arsenal versus Tottenham. It's going to be a spectacular, and it's the only way you're going to find out what's going to happen with a save from here. So make sure you come along for that one. Back in the Borough will then be back on Sunday in its normal slot. So if you have enjoyed this, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.